Morning. I'm finally back. Obviously, brilliant holiday, and I kind of went on a bit of a spending spree because it was my birthday. And this is the video I've been looking forward to do for ages. This is the Lush body spray sort of face-off. Now, I've had most of them, to be honest with you. There's about 20 probably at least of Lush body sprays you can get, and they perform like an odor select. I've mentioned this plenty of times before, but I currently have 6 in my collection. I bought 3 when I was on holiday. I want to do a bit of a face-off today to pick which one's the best one. Then it's going to be my sort of scent of the day, essentially. We're going to kind of do what we normally do. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a few categories, we're going to rate them, and then overall winner then becomes my scent of the day. So this would be things like price, performance, longevity, compliment factor, all those sort of things that matter to most people. So yeah, what we're going to do a little spray off as well, and a room spray test on top of that. So that's what we're going to do. So which Lush sprays, which body sprays do I have? And I'm just going to read what the little text says, rather than do a note breakdown today. I'm just going to read what they sort of say on the front of them, and then just give my thoughts on their overall smell. So let's get on with it. Yeah, let's start with this first one. So this one is Mr. Wallet. Now Mr. Wallet's just very much a minty smell. That's what it smells like, mint humbug. So it says, get minted with this sandalwood, vanilla and peppermint perfume made of ingredients totally unlikely to attract luck and prosperity unless success in life is just down to belief. This one, like I said, it's just minty, and you definitely get that sandalwood as well. So don't really get the vanilla, but mint is the whole main note of that one. This one here is Karma. So Karma, this is one I've recently just bought, so about 3 days ago. It says, swing into 70s London with bursts of Brazilian orange oil, grooving you through the streams of patchouli and pine enlightenment. Bell bottoms optional, but encouraged. I get all those notes. Not so much the pine, but definitely that orange smell. A bit of a dirty orange smell. Really, really nice fragrance. This one here, Cinders. This is limited edition, so I had to get this hopefully before it sort of goes out of stock again. Hopefully it'll come back. It tends to come back annually, these fragrances. But this one says, wait no more for the cosy warmth of autumn. Take the best bits of the season with you and spritz on the go with spicy notes of cinnamon, Brazilian orange and almond oils. Marzipan. That's what I get with this, and that's the almond. So it's very almond heavy. If you like almond as a scent, that's the one. SAKURA. SAKURA, drift along on a cherry blossom breeze with this uplifting bouquet of mimosa and orange flower absolute. Again, I get it's based off a floral orangey smell. So where that's Karma one with like a dirty orange, this one's like a very floral orange smell. And yeah, I think that's the sort of cherry, but I don't know if there's sort of pink pepper or something in there. Very nice. Guardian of the Forest. This is pine. This is all it smells like. It smells like you're going through a pine woods. Wonder what it says. Catch a glimpse of a mysterious creature through the deep green foliage of rosewood and cypress trees. If you just want to smell sort of a little bit like a piney wood, that is what it is. Nothing more than that. It's quite aggressive, that one. Very, very bold. But certainly a strong performer. And then one of my other ones I bought the other day, which I've had a couple of times, Sticky Dates. It's just like caramel. You just smell of caramel. It's lovely. Already a legend in its own time, this velvety blend of benzoin, resinoid and sandalwood is practically guaranteed to make you melt, indulgent, Moorish, and it simply never dates. It does. It's just like this caramel. It's like a date, like the fruit date, and it's just been coated in this lovely caramel and like vanilla mix, and it's lovely. It really is a lovely fragrance. All 6 of these are lovely, but they're so different. So what I'm going to do today, go on my run first, and then what I'll do is I'll rate the first 2 categories. So we're going to go on price, which obviously they're all similar price anyway, but there will be an overall winner on that, and it's versatility. So which one is the most versatile? You would have seen I've sprayed my arm. I've done 1 spray of each because these spray such a strong mist. You only need 1 spray of each. And I already know which ones they all are just based on, so I didn't even have to look because they're so distinctive. So what I'll do, head out for a run, and then we'll do the first 2 categories, price, value for money, and versatility. Let's get on. Ooh, it is stuffy this morning, but you can probably tell there's a bit of a breeze, which is quite nice. So, price or value for money? Well, just giving them all a sniff actually before I came on the video. They're all fantastic value for money. You would have seen screenshots, £28 to £32 for the ones I've got. essentially you can get some that are a little bit cheaper. Some are lower end, sort of 20, and some are obviously nearer sort of 35 to 40. But out of the 6 I've got, Sticky Dates is the cheapest at 28. And I have to say, that one, when it first came out, they did it as a limited edition. It flew off the shelves within like an hour. And then they brought it just as one that they've just kept for good now. So you'd probably think I'd say that one, because it is a favourite, whether that's in the shower gels or the body butters or whatever sort of other products they do in it. But I'm going to give the first one for the best value for money to Karma, which is £30. And I say that for one sort of main reason. A lot of them essentially centre around sort of one really dominant note. So Mr. Wallet's very minty, Guardian of the Forest very piney, Sakura is very much that one's got a bit more complexity, but it's very floral. Karma's got this sort of 3 or 4 notes that you can detect rather than just one really dominant one. So you really get that orange, dirty orange sort of smell. And it's not like Turdermis, it doesn't have the pepper, but it's just got the earthy patchouli in the orange. And maybe a slight bit of pine sort of smokiness to it. And it's really nice. And I bought it for my mum a while ago. And it was a £70 odor toilette of it. This £30 one just performs just as well as that. You get, 2 of them at least for that. And I just think that it smells more like, because I've had a few Lush ones where people have said, oh, it smells like cooking in here. You don't really want that, do you? Someone would recognise this as a fragrance. And I just think that extra complexity it has, and the quality, no syntheticness about this at all. Some of them do smell a bit synthetic, but in a nice way. They're not harsh. I've got to give it to that. It's just not as linear as some of those other ones that I've mentioned. And I said Cinders and that, they're all very nice, but they all centre around this kind of gourmand food taste, almost like they're so nice that you could eat them. This one doesn't. This one wears like a fragrance. For that reason, first point for value for money, because you could pay double that and it's worth it, in my opinion. Come. Okay, versatility. So out of the 6 body sprays I've got, which one is the most versatile? Sticky Dates, no. It's very much winter, cold weather. Mr. Wallet, it's a minty smell, but I don't think it's really summery, because it's quite sweet at the same time, so not that one. I never think that fragrance seems it's like a mint humbug. I'm never quite sure when to wear that. I'd probably say a kind of cool spring morning would be when it's nice. Not an office one, either, it's too harsh. Sakura, definitely. The thing with that though is I don't think it's particularly masculine. It's much more of a feminine fragrance, being floral. But I've got confidence with it plenty of times. So yeah, I'm not saying that's maybe the perfect one. You certainly couldn't dress it up. It's quite casual. Garden in the Forest, no. Outdoor Forest, that's it. Very masculine. I don't know how many people would like that one, even though it does get good reviews, but it's a very acquired taste. Cinders, again, only winter. It's got to be Karma again. It's just got to be. It's just the one that has that little bit more complexity about it, where it's got these earthy, wintry notes like a patchouli, but also the citrus notes like an orange. It does that sort of vibe that I said earlier, even though it's not the same. It has that similar vibe to a Dead Head in that sort of fragrance category. When you could wear it all year, you could certainly wear it with a suit. It's my mum and my brother's favourite fragrance from Lush, and they're different ages, different sectors. So it shows it's quite a mass pleaser, and I think for that reason, again, that extra complexity, a little bit like I was saying with the quality for value for money, you're going to make a statement with that, and I think it does a load of job. I'm not saying it's a perfect exercise fragrance, I don't think it really appealed to a real younger audience, but 25 and up, it'd be more than suitable. And again, it's one you can wear every day, that's for sure. And yeah, there's an element of craftiness about it. It goes more than it just smells really nice because it's gourmand. It's got that complexity and yeah, just that good performance to it, which obviously we'll touch on a little bit later. It just does more jobs than the others and probably would appeal to more people. So Karma's 2-0 up already in this competition. They're all good though. Where I've smelt them in the shop, or brothers had them, or I've owned them, I've smelt every spray they've got. So other ones that they have is one called Salty, one called Big that smells like a really musky shampoo. Rose Jam is nuclear strong. If you like rose, yeah, that's the one to get. I've got one called Yognog, which is delicious. It's like a Christmas sort of caramel shortbread. It's got a booziness to it as well. It's really nice. Zesty, which of course, as you can imagine, it's like a sweet candied lemon. Dad's Garden Lemon Tree is more like your just standard citrus. So the Comforter, which is this nice sweet black currant. Oh, honestly, there's loads, and I really recommend them. I've obviously owned a ton of fragrances. Lush body sprays are the best value for money fragrances out there, and they're not a body spray. They're an odour toilet, odour parfum performer. They do spray a lot, but you get 200 ml, so it's absolutely fine. And you're paying under 30 quid on in most cases, or around that. So I will do a review of some of the other products I've got from Lush, because yeah, there's some really good things that I have from them beyond fragrances, but they also smell really nice in their own right. And I think, hoping that'll be of interest to people as well, that if I had to just get one type of product from Lush, it's these body sprays. They're great. Right, a long way to go still on my run. I want to try and get up to 9 miles today, so yeah, better keep going. Okay, run done. Now time for the room spray test. So I'm going to spray every fragrance twice in the air, and we're going to see which one lasts the longest. When I've come up after I've had a cup of tea and my orange and stuff, got a new cup of tea, or a new tea bag I'm trying today. Gingerbread green tea. Be interesting, won't it? So, Sakura, Sticky Dates. I think that one's going to do well. Funnily enough, Karma, which has obviously won the first 2 rounds, I don't think will do so well in this. That's Guardian of the Forest, Cinders, Mr. Wallet, and Karma. My prediction for this, Sticky Dates or Cinders. We'll go for them too, because they're a little bit sweeter. So let's go down, have something to drink, and we'll come up and we'll find out which one wins the projection test. I'll talk about the projection I had during my run as well while I have my tea. Okay, so yeah, terrible hat hair again. So which fragrances, could I smell any of those Lush body sprays during my run? Well, there were 2 I did smell while I was running, and I did sort of sniff my arm obviously during the run. The weakest was definitely Cinders. It's there, but I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed with that one, but I think it might do quite well in the room spray test. I don't know why, I just think it might do better in the air. But the 2 I could smell was Mr. Wallet and Sticky Date. Now, Sticky Dates I sprayed here, and Mr. Wallet I sprayed here, so it's probably a little bit understandable that I could smell those. However, ones like Karma and Sakura, they're definitely there, but I just think where they were lower down on my arm, I think if they were in different spots, they probably would have all projected pretty well. It was only really Cinders that I can't smell, and yeah, definitely Guardian of the Forest, that piney smell is strong. So I'm certain I would have smelled them if they were placed in different positions. Later on though, when I do go to the gym, because I can't fit them all in my gym bag, too many, I'm going to spray them in the same places on my arms to test the longevity. However, obviously 10 minutes needs to go by, I've got a few more minutes. Going to just have a quick, look at the size of this cup. Gingerbread green tea though, it's very nice. I like flavoured tea, a lot of people don't, but that just tastes like Christmas. Finish this, head upstairs, and we'll see which one has won the test of projection. Okay then, time for the room spray test. I love this one. This one's always exciting to me, walking up the stairs, thinking which one has won it. I'm going to say Sticky Dates. I think that stickiness from those sweet, I don't know if it's the benzoin or whatever it is in it, with vanilla notes, they really do last. And I think they're going to do well here. Let's see. I should have known this one was going to win. Sticky Dates is there, but it's almost like the base note, whereas this really strong one that's pushing at the top is Guardian of the Forest. This is not an office-friendly scent. If this was your office, you wouldn't want to spray this. This is very much an outdoors lumberjack sort of scent to me, with a hint of sweetness in the background. But the strongest one is Guardian of the Forest. That pininess is very, very aggressive. If you get this, and I'm someone who likes to spray 20, 30 times on my clothes normally with fragrances, I wouldn't spray this more than 3 or 4 times if I was going anywhere in public where people would notice me. Easy winner. Guardian of the Forest. Wow. It's 100% an outdoors foresty scent. If you're outdoors going for a big hike in the woods, that's where it works. But I don't think this would work in an office. If this was my office and I came in, unless it's Christmas time maybe, wouldn't wear it, but it's definitely a projection monster. That's the point today on projection, the Guardian of the Forest. Okay, so Guardian of the Forest obviously just won the room spray test, but will it win a spray off? So let's start with the competition. We're going to put that one in the first round. So it's Guardian of the Forest against Sakura. So the floral scent of Sakura, can it beat the pininess of Guardian of the Forest? I'm only going to spray these once, they're so strong. Win stays on though. Sakura's not got a chance there. Okay, so that's one already to Guardian of the Forest. Stand back and clear the air. If you could even clear the air with this fragrance. So this is Karma. So this is the one that's been doing really well. Currently ahead, that dirty orange smell, earthy orange, against Guardian of the Forest. Oh, Karma. I almost just had that preconceived idea that was going to win. No, the orange has kicked through there. Wow. I'm really surprised. Yeah, that's really lingering on this one, but okay. I'm very surprised. Cinders, the almond marzipan type smell against Sakura. And unbelievably, that almond blast has absolutely blown Karma out the way. It's so weird how these fragrances win different competitions, even though it's a similar sort of test. Mr. Wallet's are very much the mintiness with that sandalwood peppermint background against Cinders. I think Cinders might win this one. But then again, this projected really well on my run. So let's see. Cinders, the almonds kicking through. Wow, Sticky Dates then against Cinders. See, Mr. Wallet's now starting to come through more. But the almond has just meant it won that. So Sticky Dates, which has got a really strong benzoin sort of blast. So let's give it a try. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So it's caramel in Sticky Dates that could win this. Do you know, I really thought Sticky Dates might win that, and I'm really surprised because this was the one that I said wasn't projecting well. Cinders has won. Maybe that almond blast just to start with in the phrase is just really strong. Maybe that's why maybe you don't notice it so much after because it just dries down that little bit more. But that is really strong. Wow. And people do say, I have had compliments, my brother's had a lot of compliments on that, and the people have said, oh, you smell really nice, and I can't smell it anymore. Maybe it's just because that opening is, as I was just saying, so strong. But Cinders has won the sprayer. I'm very, very surprised. The one that's seen the weakest projection has done really well there. So anyway, I'm going to quickly get myself ready for the gym, spray my arm with all these fragrances, and then we'll talk about compliment factor on my walk to the gym, and then we'll just see which one lasts the longest, whether I'm at the gym, see if I get any compliments, of course, there, and then after a shower, I'll smell my arm again without spraying them, and we'll just see which one has lasted the longest. It's good competition, this. It's getting close. Case compliments. Now, I will mention when we do this live stream at some point, I will mention the other Lush sprays that have got me compliments because there's plenty that aren't in this one, in the 6 that I've got today. they've got me numerous compliments, but we can only talk about the 6 that are in this competition, obviously. So it's a bit too early to give Karma and Cinders a real fair shout, because obviously I've only had them for a few days, so it's hard to judge them. But I know from my mum and my brother's experience, they have had compliments, and I'm pretty certain by the end of the bottle they will have 3 or 4. The ones, or the 2 that I haven't had any on, are Mr. Wallet and Guardian of the Forest. Again, that minty and piney notes, maybe they're a little bit daring. They're a little bit more out there, a bit strange, those fragrances, mysterious, but in a way that, yeah, they're not real compliment getters in that same vibe. But the ones that have got me compliments is Sakura. I had a lady at work who absolutely loved that one all the time, said, I really like that one, what is it again? Always mentioned it, and it would last 6-7 hours as well, so that one was great. But there's a clear winner for me today, and it's Sticky Date. This very much fits the mould of a modern fragrance, that caramel sort of sweet notes, and there's a reason, as I said earlier, it flew off the shelf when it came out as a body spray. It's so lovely, it is so mass pleasing. It's quite playful though, it's not like that really classy sort of, unique, so you're not going to dress it up. It's playful, it's very playful, and more youthful in that sense as well, I would say, but it's lovely. I think male and female can put it off, and yeah, just from my experience, again, I remember spraying a lot of it when I went in to do a after school sort of PE session, and I had so many people mention it. Someone actually said, I knew you were here because I could smell you. I couldn't find you, but I knew you were here just based on the fact there was a trail. So it's one of those where people may actually notice you fill up the room because you leave such a scent trail, so people may smell you before they see you. And I think the most I've had in a day on that one is about 15 different compliments in one day, just where I put quite a bit on. So if you take it with you and you do like 5 or 6 sprays before you go in, you are going to get absolutely inundated with people asking you, what is that smell? And you smell nice. And people will be very surprised when you tell them it's a £28 spray from Lush. So easy winner here. Compliment factor, definitely Sticky Date. If any get a compliment today, any I think that it is get a compliment today, I might ask the person which one it is, and that'll also be a winner. But for now, compliment factor winner, Sticky Date. That's probably the easiest win of the day. Let's get to the gym. Okay, so workout done, shower done. It's nearly 12 o'clock, so it's probably about 2 hours again since I last put a spray on. So has it survived? What survived the shower, essentially? Have any of them survived it? And my workout, and obviously walking to the gym. Right, there's 2 I can't really smell, and that's Cinders and Mr. Wallet, surprisingly. So those ones both seem to have really strong initial blasts. But yeah, they don't seem to last maybe as long as the others. But the rest of them I can smell. But there's 2 in particular. And there's a clear winner here, actually. And I'm quite surprised that I think another similar fragrance to this, which I've mentioned before, also was very good at this. It's Sakura. It's the Lush Sakura that's really strong. That's probably about 75-80% as strong as it was, and it smells just the same. It's really lasted well, that. So again, it's another different winner, but I'd probably say Guardian of the Forest is probably about 60% as strong. Yeah, Sticky Dates probably about 55. Karma probably about 65, and then the others are probably 10%. If I really dug my nose in, I could probably smell Cinders and Mr. Wallet. But yeah, I have to say Sakura has done really well with this. I tend to find that with floral fragrances, and it kind of links back into probably what I said earlier, the lady who I used to work with, who said about 6 or 7 hours after I'd applied it how nice it smelled. That one does last. It doesn't maybe project as well as some else, but it will stick to your skin. And what I quite like is on a day like today where it's not that sunny, it's perfect for a summer's day, that light sort of orange floral smell, and yeah, it's really, really performed. So, and that's something you don't get often, like sort of those more summery scents. The floral scents I do think do well, and this one can do all jobs. I was saying earlier, the reason it didn't win versatility essentially is I think it's more suited towards sort of women, but that's done well. I'm very, very impressed with that, and yeah, I've got to give the point to that, which means that's another different winner. So what we'll do, because this is getting a very long video, we'll head back, we'll add up all the scores. It's been a close one today, and yeah, I'll just give my final thoughts. Okay, so back home, done 34,000 steps. You won't be able to see that, but yeah, quite a lot of exercise, I must admit. All wearing the Lush body sprays that I have, so 6 in total. Now, the only one that didn't get a point today, as you would have just seen, was Mr. Wallet. But the overall winner, and it won the first 2 rounds, it's managed to hold on, was Karma. So Karma is going to be, once again, because it was yesterday, my scent of the day. And I just think it's the one out of all those fragrances I've got, I just think it's the one that actually smells like a fragrance. As I said, some of them are brilliant. Sticky Date is my absolute favourite. It's in my top 5 scents of all time. That's how much I like it. Cinders, absolutely lovely. In terms of a pure scent, I probably prefer them to Karma. But this is the fragrance. These ones, people might walk into a room and almost feel like someone's cooking something nice, or it's got that real gourmand feel. And again, it's not about me, it's about what I think would work for most people. And this is an absolute masterpiece, genuinely. And I do say this now, Lush is fantastic. If I could only own one fragrance house, if you wouldn't want to even call them that, it would be Lush body sprays, because they are the best. They smell so nice, they smell really high quality, not synthetic, they're not clones of anything, and you just smell different to everyone else, and that's what I want. And this really is a masterpiece. I would pay £60-70 for it, absolutely fine, because it is that good. And I think it works for both male and female. I think anyone 25 and up, you could dress it up, you could wear it, just as a signature scent. And I think that is why this one is so good. I really recommend people try these. If you've got this far, thank you first of all for watching this long, because it's a long video. Go into a Lush shop. If you live in England, go to Oxford Street in London. You could go to Westfield Shopping Centre in Shepherd's Bush. Any Lush store near you, whether you're UK or US or abroad, wherever you are, try and find your nearest Lush store and try these. They normally let you try them in the shop. They always have testers and stuff there, so I definitely recommend it. And yeah, I think this one will please most people, probably a little bit more than the others, but they're all great. And I know Sticky Dates is the most popular out there at the moment, so yeah, definitely worth a try. Hope you've enjoyed this one today. Going to be a few more fragrance videos coming up as well. I've got a slightly different one tomorrow involving a bit of the darts as well. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy that one. I hope you'll stay around to watch that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Again, if anyone wants me to do a live sort of stream at some point, I'm still waiting for people to get back to me about what's the best time. But if you want to, just comment below and we'll get on with that. But today, Karma is our winner. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.